Thinking back over my career, I had one student, her name was Laditra, and this was my first year of teaching. And she came to me one day and said she wanted to be an attorney. And I said, wow, that's ambitious, that'd be great. She at that time was struggling to just get through high school. She went on to actually graduate from the University of Utah and got into Harvard and graduated from Harvard Law. A lot of our kids work because they have to work to help maintain the household. So that becomes difficult because they're getting off at midnight, 2 in the morning, and then coming to school and trying to go through a regular school day. I think the other thing that is an influence is relationships. I think we as teachers have to try harder to build relationships with our kids so they can kind of relate to us. I think it's imperative. I think one of the things that really influences our students is our ability to be able to provide rewards, whether that's for coming to school, whether that's for academics, all those kinds of things. And if we can get the business community involved on that aspect financially, that's one way that they can be a part of it. The other thing is too, it would be nice to have people come into our building so our students are exposed to someone that's an artist or someone that's a doctor or a lawyer, and they can kind of tell them what it took to get to that point. Because a lot of times in high school, you don't realize what it's going to take to get to wherever it is. But if you hear it from a person, particularly if it's a person that they can relate to, if it's we have a very high Hispanic population, and if we can get some doctors from this community that are Hispanic to come in, or lawyers or whomever, it just helps to solidify the fact that if you really work hard, that you can overcome that. Because I remember when I was growing up, I didn't see very many role models, African American role models. And I remember the first time I saw an African American teacher, I was in 3rd grade, and it was a 6th grade teacher. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy's a teacher? Well, he must be pretty sharp. I can't wait to have him. I had the same experience in college. I was in a math class, and I was waiting for the teacher to walk in. And she walked in, and she happened to be African American. And I remember thinking, I'm getting an A. No matter what it takes in this class, I'm getting an A. So I can show this lady that I'm a college-bound student and I want to do something with my life. So if we can get the community involved, I think it just helps to get the kids focused. For whatever reason, the majority of the kids struggle with math. And I think some of it is the math vocabulary that they're not used to, the story problems that they're not used to. They're not used to being able to break something down. And really, reality is problem solving that you use in math is applicable to all areas, no matter what you're in. But if the kids don't get the basic math skills, it becomes very difficult it limits their career choices. It limits what they're probably going to be able to accomplish in high school. Because those basic math skills lead on to higher level math, which leads on to hopefully a better career. The kids got to know you care. I had an example of a kid that he came in, and his name was Leo, came late every single day. So about 2 weeks into it, I said, Leo, why are you late every day? He said, well, I don't know, just get here late. I said, okay. So he sat down to start to work, and I had to move him because he wasn't getting his work done. So I took him across the hall. I said, Leo, come with me across the hall. I want you to work over here. He said, why are you moving me? And he kind of had a little bit of an attitude. I said, well, you know what, Leo? The reason I'm moving you is because I care if you graduate. If I didn't care, I would just leave you where you are. And so he walked over, he nodded his head, and he walked over to the computer lab. He turned and said, hey, Mr. Hopkins. I said, what? He said, thank you for caring. My name is Ken Hopkins. I'm an educator at Granger High School. I've been in education for 34 years, and I hope I'm a life changer.